Hello, I'm David Butler, and these are 4 stories from our Explain Pain book in poster form. We think they look great in the waiting room, anywhere a patient can see them, use them in a pain management group. I'd like to tell you though, the things that we'd like patients to take from each poster, the critical essence of them. In the first one, take control, a patient will be with you for about 1% of the week. The rest of the time, it's all theirs. So there are 4 questions that we ask patients to ask clinicians. They are, what's wrong with me? How long will it take? Therefore, you need to think of goals. What can I, the patient, do for it? And what you, the clinician, can do for it. If they can be answered, that's very empowering. The second one is thought viruses. Thoughts and beliefs are nerve impulses in your brain. Many people don't think like that. But to get a patient to realise that just as impulses from their back come into their spinal cord, up into their brain and release chemicals, that's exactly what a thought or a belief does. And it's this linkage of impulses from tissues and impulses from thoughts and beliefs which create pain. So I'd like patients to contemplate the thought viruses, some of the thoughts and beliefs that might be maintaining a pain experience. There's plenty, and you can help them with this. A key one might be someone who thinks, I'm so frightened of my pain and injuring my back that I'm not doing anything. The third one is the road to recovery. This is really popular with patients. When injured, we have a pain experience, and broadly there's 2 ways you can go. We've all been this way, and so have patients in the past, and this is the road to recovery, to well-being. It can take a bit of an effort to get there, but we've all been there. But many of your patients have been on this route, and we'd like them to see that. They've been through anxiety, catastrophizing, they've done a freak-out corner, full of cortisol, often a sea of endless health professionals, lake avoidance, compo problems, etc. But the key thing we'd like them to see is that there's a way out of it. And it's this opportunity bypass where with some knowledge that you can provide them and some very clever exercise and activity, you can get them out. And finally, pacing activity, the mountain metaphor. In number 1, it represents Mount Everest, but it could also represent climbing a small mountain, going for a long walk, sitting on a chair. We all have our Everest. But let's use Everest as the metaphor. Climbing up, there would have been a stage where tissues would have been challenged. Lungs would have been screaming, potential for sprain and strain. But there's a protect by pain line, which essentially says, danger, 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 change behaviour. You can say, I'm not listening to that, I'm getting to the top. Bit dangerous, we've all done it. But in 2 is where your patient is now. And this is where perhaps 1 year, 2 years, 5 years later, there's a new tissue tolerance. It's down a little bit, but still pretty good. 5 years is usually long enough for things to heal a little bit. The tissues could be a bit soggy, boggy, and need a bit of extra health, but essentially the healing process has been done. But the critical thing for a patient to see is that there's now a new protect by pain line set down here. And their pain might come on when they walk up a small hill or even think of walking. And it's important for them to grasp that this new protect by pain line has been set from impulses from tissues, but also a whole range of thought viruses. If they get this, then they'll understand this, that they can go up the mountain and have some pain, but it will not harm them. It will not damage them, because they're a long, long way from challenging the tissues. And that is how an effective baseline, a healing baseline, is set. There's more on the poster for them to follow. So that's our 4 posters. We think they look really good in the clinic, and I can tell you that they're surely an evidence-based addition to any practice.